Back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by the one, the only Sam Goodman, of course. Well, actually, you know what, Sam? Tell people what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a writer. I cover the Lions for a website called Gridiron Heroics. You can check out my work there. And then I also do some writer assisting at the Associated Press.
That's awesome. Of course, if for people that may know how this kind of interview got set up, of course, Sam was shadowing the great Larry Lage at the AP, of course, at the Nascar race at Michigan a few weeks ago. We'll get into the racing side of it a little bit, but before we get to that, talk to me about how you got into this. And first, well, I should start with how you first wanted to do this.
You grow up in an area, around outside Detroit where sports it's kind of a huge thing. You got the Lions, the Red Wings, the Tigers, the Pistons, all with winning histories. Well, maybe not the Lions as much now, but winning histories. And so it's kind of, a culture. And so, since I was young, it's been a fascination that kind of just grew and grew. And then I'm a kid that really wanted to always know more. And so you get to a point where unless you're the one getting that firsthand information and then sharing that information, unless you're the guy behind the scenes, you're not on top of the game. You don't know as much as you can. And so that brought me to journalism and becoming a writer.
Yeah. And so, of course, you've gotten some pretty good opportunities. And let's just remind the folks here, we're 17 years old.
Yeah.
And you're a senior at Birmingham Groves High School, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that would be correct.
So, I mean, obviously, a lot of people get started younger. I mean, but not know a 17-year-old that, of course, it's covered NASCAR and stuff. And of course, another one was just 18 doing this stuff too. So, talk about how you got started and how you got the connections that you did. And you're not even out of high school yet.
Yeah. The biggest thing is reaching out. I mean, you have the entire world at your fingertips now, with social media especially. And people really underestimate the power of reaching out. If you can find anyone's information, you can contact them. It might be a shot in the dark, but I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to get involved and you got to find the right people because the entire industry is connections.
Yes.
It's who you know. So yeah, it's about finding those connections and then making a good impression. So yeah.
Yeah. And you've made that, of course. Not every 17-year-old gets to shadow AP. Like not every 17-year-old gets to run the Rolex 24 Daytona either. Or something like that. You're not even 18 years old yet. You're not even an adult. You're still a kid.
Yeah. We're getting there. Yeah.
So talk about how you got connected with the Lions and stuff and covering pro football, which is something that not everyone starts with. Usually people start with high school, something like that. I mean, for me, it was high school, then eventually going into college, and then eventually going into NASCAR, where I am now. But where did all that start with you? I mean, it's the NFL. That's one of the biggest things, and actually the biggest sporting event on planet Earth.
Yeah. Well, again, it was the power of reaching out. I listened to a lot of podcasts. I'm a big podcast guy because again, it's all about I want to know all that new information as it comes out. And so been listening to a lot of the Locked On podcasts, listening to Matt Derry from Locked On Lions. And
Matt Derry's a good friend of mine.
Oh, you see, awesome. And Pride of Detroit, Jeremy Reisman, those guys. And so through the power of social media, I just started reaching out to as many people as I could. And I was lucky enough to find Keegan Rush, Max Dean at gridironheroics.com. And they were happy to, have writers. They just wanted people who would put out content. And so uh, I was able to kind of get a position there and then keep kind of building up as I put out more content and get on the beat. So that was kind of a big step there.
Yeah, finding people. It's also, working at trying to, find different things. Sure, also job shadowing. Obviously when you associate yourself with the AP, it's obviously big.
Yeah.
I know many college reporters do that as well. But yeah, what was that like? I know you got a chance to do that. I think your first time doing that was at Michigan a few weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was. It was my first time at MIS, getting to have that much access to the track. Being there as a fan and then being there as a journalist is completely different.
Oh yeah,
Um, and then being there with someone with that much name power. I mean, being there with Larry is unbelievable. I mean, Larry Lage, not only is he an amazing writer and a
yeah,
teacher, but he he knows everyone. And so
yes,
you are walking around with not only you got this credential of power around your neck, but you're able to talk to so many people and get to know a lot of great people. I got to meet you here, and
absolutely.
it's another way to find connections and then learn on the job, and I think that's a huge thing.
So, in part of being, a sports guy, one of your biggest passions is racing.
Yeah,
I know you've been a NASCAR fan for a long, long time. I
yeah,
know that you one day have an interest in covering this sport as well.
yeah.
What was what exactly do you want to do? And obviously, you got tons of stuff going on. You have the AP stuff, and you have the Lions, and also you have. Well, you're also starting school next week too.
Yeah.
Um, what was? How are you going to fit that? I mean, it is something that you want to pursue down the road, but what exactly do you want to do?
Yeah, my real big goal is to be a broadcaster. I love to talk and
Yeah,
um racing especially is one of those things where I can just you go on and on and on because when you have such a passion for something, you just don't shut up about it. And
mm-hmm.
being a broadcaster, it's like you have a giant platform and you
Yeah.
get to talk about what you love for hours on end, and people pay to listen. I mean, they that's what they want to see, and I think that's such a unique thing, and there's only a select few that get to do that, and that's what I want to do.
Favorite NASCAR podcast you listen to?
Am I obligated to say the Casey Campbell NASCAR
Oh
podcast?
no, no, you're not. I got a lot. I listen to a bunch of podcasts as well. So
Um, no, but this it has been a great show. Since I started listening, it's been really good. I like being able to listen to as many different people as possible. So when you have a ton of different people on, it gives so many different perspectives, which I think is a great thing to share,
yeah,
especially in podcasts when a lot of the ones I listen to, it's just two guys all the time, and you're not getting that many different views. So what you're doing is definitely really important for growing the sport and also growing, you know, a good show.
yeah.
Um, that aside, I think the one I've been listening to the most is definitely the Teardown with Jeff
Oh
Gluck
yeah.
and Jordan Bianchi.
You never you never know what could get revealed there. So
Yeah,
that
it's
and door bumper clear, you never know what could get revealed there. I'm like, oh,
true.
well, nope, that's out there now. Yeah. So I know that you got another person you got to meet was Jordan at Michigan. Who obviously getting to meet a bunch of different people. What was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of surreal at first. You walk into that room, the media center, and not only am I, trying to mentally prepare for like the job I actually have to do,
Yeah.
but I'm in a room with guys who I've followed, listened to, watched on TV for years. And again, I'm a kid, so it's like you're a kid in a candy shop. You're trying to meet all these people, and I'm trying to tell them how much of a fan I am. And I was talking to Jordan. He was like, he first of all, he was like, it's crazy that you're so young, but everyone's so willing to help their contemporaries in this industry. Everyone wants to
Yeah. Oh,
help
yeah.
out. And being 17 and having these people I look up to see me as another journalist was, again, yeah, it was surreal. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. It was yeah, when you've been around the sport is, I mean, I think this is year 6 for me. So you get to know these. And it's like, oh, it's it's there. It was yeah, definitely it was interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Just you just get used to it. You get to, used to the drivers, but I mean, there are drivers out there that I've known for a long time. Some of them I call friends. So you get used to it. But what was it like being around journalists is one thing. Being around drivers is another.
Yeah. That was another crazy thing. You're there working, and so there's a part of me that's like, okay, I got to be professional. I got to do my
Of course,
job.
yeah, yeah.
But then the other part, that the kid and fan in me is like, oh my God, this is racing royalty right here. And I get to just chat with them. And, as much as, I was doing a lot of interviews, there were times where you can just kind of have a casual conversation. And
Yeah.
that was another crazy thing, because I still kind of see them as, oh my God, they're the NASCAR drivers on TV that I, watch. And um, you're that close, and you're just another journalist doing your job, but also you're getting to meet these really cool people and learn really interesting stories, because they all have so much to share.
Yeah, they do. It's when you've been around these people for a long time, it's always been, you just get used to it because they're just everyday people just like you and me.
Yeah,
So it's it get there at first, it's like, oh geez.
yeah,
But then it's like you over time you get more used to it. But it's like your first time,
yeah,
definitely. Oh, um, yeah. It's you never know who's gonna pop on the left side of the screen there. So,
yeah,
um, hmm. So let's talk about what's next. I know you got your senior year. I know you got also you play lacrosse as well.
I do.
What do you want to do after that? I mean, obviously you're going to pursue this. You never know what could come next. But obviously you have a broadcasting. Did you reach out to anybody? Because there was some fun stuff. There were some people in there that know how to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to a good few of them, a lot of the guys from MRN, talked to Claire Lang, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, she's one of the best.
Yeah, her and Dave Moody. And that's really cool people to know, and again to learn from, especially because they're at the top of their game, and
Oh yeah.
they're the voices of the sport. So getting to connect with them and hopefully learn from them down the line would just be an amazing experience. But right now, I think the focus is I gotta go to college, and study media journalism, and
Mhm.
try to at least get some sort of experience at a large kind of uh, like program, so that I can get more experience in a larger scale. Right now, it's very local, the stage I'm at, which I'm fine with because it's good experience. But I want to have a larger audience and kind of be in a larger kind of production setting, because my goal is to be at the national stage, and that's how it'll be. So gotta learn.
Yeah, man. Um, what's most exciting about what are you most excited about this year?
Yeah, this year it's kind of just like it's the first part of the next step. It's I'm gonna figure out where I'm going to school next year. I'm gonna figure out kind of that next stage of my life and how it's gonna look. And I think that's pretty exciting because it's kind of that first step towards being a real professional, and also just moving to a new stage of life as a person.
Yeah, for sure. Fun stuff there. All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, Sam, thanks for letting us get to know you a little bit. And good luck with whatever you choose to do. We're gonna have you on again sometime. So maybe in the next few months. You never know. You might see this guy filling on the previous show. You never know.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on.
All right.